Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro here, and I believe that this message is finding you well on this beautiful, beautiful Friday that we have been blessed with. And before I begin the conversation that we're going to be having here today, the conversation we're going to be having is actually called Energy Vampires, how certain places and people suck the energy out of you. So this is a specific video that I'm creating for the Velvet Mastermind Club. It is part of a video series that I have begun. A couple of days ago, I posted a video on this page talking about how energy significantly impacts your happiness, health, and success. So if you haven't had a look at that video, I highly recommend you have a look at that video. This video that I'm actually creating here for you today is actually a second go at doing a Facebook Live. Earlier on today, I was doing a Facebook Live on my personal timeline with the same message, and when I was watching the video again after making the whole video for 40 minutes, I noticed that the video was choppy. So I said that I'm going to come back and create a brand new video for you. And the lesson in that is that do not ever give up. Always keep trying. That way the universe is going to reward you. So the conversation that we're having is actually part of it's setting the foundation for an audio program that I'm going to be releasing this Sunday. The audio program is called Energy, How to Stop Leaking It and How to Have More of It. So if you're watching this video during the week of June 15th, that audio program is not yet ready, but by Sunday, the program is going to be available and you can access it through my personal development website, which is called the alphasuccessnetwork.com, the alphasuccessnetwork.com. So let us jump into the conversation. We are going to be talking about energy vampires, right? Energy vampires. Energy what? Energy vampires. They suck the life out of you. They suck the life out of you. So, in the conversation that we're going to be having here today, I want you to understand that every single minute, every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year that you are living, you are receiving a stream, right? You are receiving a stream of energy, right? The life force is flowing into you. Now, as this life force is flowing into you, what happens is that majority of times people leak out a lot of this energy, number one, and number two, people put themselves in situations that lead to other environments or other people sucking the energy out of them. So in this video, I'm specifically going to talk about energy vampires, like how certain places and how certain people suck the energy out of you. And in the next video that I'm going to create, which will be on Sunday, I'm going to talk about some of the ways that you may be leaking energy and you do not even know it. So let us jump into the conversation, a very important and exciting conversation. Now, when we talk about energy vampires, I divide it into two categories, right? Category number one is people, right? And category number two is environment. So we're going to begin our exploration here by talking about people. And in the department of people, I divided into three sections. Intimate, right? Like your intimate partner, your social circle, and then the people that are in your business environment, right? The people that are in the place where you actually work. So we're going to begin with a conversation. We're going to start off the conversation by talking about your intimate partner. So you're watching this video right now and perhaps you are in an intimate relationship or you are not in an intimate relationship. What I want you to pay close attention to is the energy that you feel in the presence of your intimate partner. Or if you're not in a relationship right now, I want you to go back to the most recent relationship that you had and just evaluate how your energy felt in that specific relationship, right? So I have discovered that the person that you're intimate with, right? It could be a boyfriend, it could be a girlfriend, it could be a spouse, it could be a husband, or it could be your wife. This is the person that you spend the most amount of time with. As a result, this person that you spend the most amount of time with has got a significant impact on your level of energy, right? If your spouse, if your partner has got a low level of energy, then what is going to happen is that they are actually going to suck the energy out of you. They're going to suck the energy out of you. As a result, you're going to experience that you are tired quite often in the presence of your partner. Now, if you are single right now, I just want you to go back to the most recent relationship that you had and just try to remember how you used to feel energetically. And it's going to be one of two things. Either you had a lot of energy in that relationship, which means that you should have stayed in it, or you felt like your energy was low, which is a sign that the person that you were involved with in a relationship at that time was actually draining you. So I'm going to reveal to you how I actually discovered this. I discovered this for myself I would say it was almost about 7-8 years ago, right? 7-8 years ago, I was dating a lady. And when I was dating this lady, it was a relationship in which there was a lot of passion, right? There was a lot of passion. There's a lot of passion. We were connected very deeply. And when it came to the subject of sex, there was a lot of passion, right, in the bedroom. However, that passion was a double-edged sword. When we fought, we fought very, very passionately. And as a result, I noticed that in that relationship, there was a lot of yo-yo, up and down in my energy. However, one more thing that really got me to pay close attention to that relationship and the energy dynamics that existed in that relationship was the fact that the lady that I was dating at that time, she just happened to, how can I say this? She happened to have a habit of thinking negative thoughts frequently, right? The habit of thinking negative thoughts frequently. And as a result, I noticed that in that relationship, I was investing a lot of time to always try to uplift, right? Try to uplift this lady. And as a result, I noticed that my energy was quite often depleted because she was in a low energetic vibration and she was sucking the energy out of me. So as a result of that, when I began to become familiar with the energy dynamics that exist between a man and a woman in an intimate relationship, I began to watch very, very closely other relationships that I got into. And I began to discover the same dynamic. Every time I went into a relationship whereby my energy was higher than the person that I was intimately involved with, I always felt drained. Right? Now, I have reached a point in my life whereby, like right now, I'm super passionate about health, wellness, and fitness, and literally just maintaining a high level of energy. And therefore, when I actually go out into the world, to engage in the dating scenario, the intimacy scenario, I'm very, very particular about who I attract into my life or who I choose to spend time with in my life, because I know that there is a direct relationship between the level of energy that I have in my body and the amount of happiness, health, and success that I can manifest in my life. And therefore, I really want to encourage you to go back and have a look at the video I created. It is on this page, the Velvet Mastermind page. It's also in the Velvet Mastermind Club YouTube channel. The video was how energy affects your happiness, health, and success. If you have a look at that video, you'll become crystal clear on the impact energy has on your ability to live your life more abundant. And once you develop this level of clarity, then you will realize that if you are in a relationship which does not energetically lift you up, if you're in a relationship that is sucking the energy out of you, then I definitely would recommend that you do one or two things. Number one, you find a solution, right, between you and your partner to raise up the energy in that relationship, or you just leave the relationship, right? You leave the relationship. Life on this plane is too short. Life on this plane is too short, and you want to make sure that you are intimately involved with somebody who is on the same energetic vibration as you, okay? Now, if you're single, then this video is giving you the information that you need so that when you go out into the dating scene, you know exactly what to look for as it pertains to the subject of energy. So with that, I'd like to go on to the next section. And the next section I'm going to be talking about is the social circle. So we're going to be talking about the social circle. So we've spoken about the intimate circle. Now I want to talk to you about the people that you have as your friends, the people that you spend time with. Not the intimate person, but the people that you spend time with, you know, during your free time, your friends. Now, I had a saying that goes something like this. How does the saying go? It goes something like this. You are the composite of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay, I'm going to repeat that one more time. You are the composite of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay, so if you are the composite of the 5 people you spend the most time with, I want you to look at your associates. I want you to look at your friends, not your associates. I want you to look at your friends. Are your friends overflowing with abundant energy and vitality? Right? Are they overflowing with abundant energy and vitality? This is a very, very, very important question that you want to ask yourself. Why is it an important question? It's an important question because when you spend time with individuals that are not energetically at the same level as you or higher, if they're lower than you on the energetic scale, then what is going to happen is that they are going to suck the energy out of you. So this is very, very similar to the dating scenario, right? In the dating scenario, you're spending a lot of time with your intimate partner. If her energy or his energy is lower than yours, then they're going to suck the energy out of you. Similar with your friends, right? You want to pay very, very close attention to who you actually choose to have around you during your free time. So myself, what I do is that when I'm looking around at people who I want to bring into my circle, right? People who I want to bring into my circle to do things with, right? I'm very passionate about a lot of outdoor activities. I'm passionate about paddleboarding, I'm passionate about hiking, I'm passionate about sprinting, I'm passionate about working out. Therefore, when I'm interacting with people in society and I'm looking for new friends, I always make sure that they are on the same energetic vibration as I am. This is very, very, very important because I have realized that if I interact with people that are at a lower energy scale than me, they're going to suck the energy out of me. So I'm crystal clear on who I want to have around me. I want you to begin to really, really make a commitment to transform your life, to begin the journey of personal growth and development, to begin to aspire to live the life more abundant in happiness, in health, and in success. And in order for you to do this, you must pay attention to this small, at least they seem small, to these small changes that you must make, right? You must make if you really want to live the life more abundant. As a result, if you're hanging around people that are operating on a low energetic scale, then my recommendation is that you immediately change your circle. So when I look back in my life, when I go back 12 years, when I go back 14 years, and I look at the people that I was actually hanging with, the people that I was actually spending majority of my time with, I realized that I was spending time with people who were not very energetic, and as a result, I had very low levels of energy. They did not inspire me to be the greatest version of myself as it pertains to the amount of energy that I had in my system. So that is something that I want you to pay attention to. Now, the next thing that I want you to pay attention to is what I call business and career, right? Business and career. So business and career, I want you to think about the people that you spend the most amount of time with at your office, at your job, at your business. So it's very similar to the previous examples that I've shared with you, right? You're spending a lot of time with your intimate partner after your business or after your job. So easily you could be spending easily 8 hours with your intimate partner, every single day, right? If you're living together. And your friends, you spend your free time with them. Now we're going to go into the workplace. And in the workplace, how many hours are you there in the workplace? Well, typically, most people are in the workplace for about 8 hours, right? 8 hours. Now imagine that the 8 hours that you are there, you are spending time with people who have low energy, who have low morale, who are always looking down, who are always despondent. If you're hanging around these types of people for 8 hours every day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, all throughout the year, then you will notice that you have this thing that is called chronic fatigue. You're always tired. You're tired because you're losing a lot of your energy to other people who are actually sucking this energy from you. As a result, you want to look very closely at your work environment. You want to observe the energy of your work environment. I'm talking specifically just the people, right? Not the environment itself, the people that are in your workplace. Now, are they people that are really lifting you up energetically? I'm not talking about any other way, I'm talking about energetically, right? And if you are not experiencing a huge boost in your energy, in your motivation, and in your inspiration, then you really want to consider the job that you have, right? You really want to consider that. I recollect myself for the past 12 years, just give me a second here, I want to show you something. For the past 12 years, I have been building one business. One of my businesses is in the field of health, wellness, and nutrition, right? And in this business that I'm building, the people that I interact with on a day-to-day basis are people that are fired up, are people that their energy is like literally off the roof. These are the people that I actually work with. As a result, I'm actually being forced to all the time to take my energy to the next level to keep up with everybody that's around me. So the people that are around me do not suck the energy out of me, they actually increase the energy that is within me. So I'm very familiar with this subject of energy dynamics, such that even when I'm looking for people that I want to partner with in business, when I'm talking to them, I'm paying attention to their energy. I'm paying attention to their energy because, like, I mentioned in the first video, and I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it. They say repetition is the mother of all learning. The amount of energy that you have in your system directly impacts your level of happiness, your level of health, and your level of success. As a result, you must, you should, you ought to, whatever word appeals to you, you ought to do as much as you can to put yourself in a competitive position as it pertains to your energy game, which means that you should reduce the instances of energy being sucked out of you, and you should reduce leaking energy, which we'll talk about in another video. Okay? So if you notice that the people that you work with have low energy, right, are despondent, are negative minded, if you notice this, then what you want to do is you want to begin to think about the future. Think about getting into a different job that has got people, or a different business that's got people who actually inspire you, who actually lift you up energetically. Okay? So that is the first part of the energy vampires, is the people that you're close to, right? And these are in three categories: your intimate partner, right? The people that you socialize with, and the people that you work with. You want to make sure that all of these people are super positive minded and their energy is up. That way, you will feel an increase in your energy as opposed to being drained of your energy. Now we're going to begin to explore what I call the environments, right? The environments that you find yourself in have a significant impact on your energy. And if you're not very careful about the selection of your environment, the environment will drain the energy out of you. And we're going to begin from the macro, and we're going to go all the way to the micro. So from the macro, we're going to be talking about, we're going to start off with the country, right? The country that you live in. Now, this is a beautiful time in history whereby if you don't like the country that you live in, you don't have to stay there, right? You don't have to stay there. You can go to any country that you want. Yes, you can, right? There's nothing holding you back. There's nothing holding you back. You can choose to relocate. But it's better if I give you a vivid example of how a country can impact your energy. So myself, I was born in Kenya. I moved to Canada in 1998, right? And Kenya is a beautiful country if you want to tour, right? If you're a tourist, you want to go see the lions, you want to go on a safari, then it's an amazing country. If you want to go on a vacation, it's an amazing country. However, to live there is a different story, at least in my eyes. Kenya is what is considered, a third world country, right? A third world country. And the third world countries typically come with a whole lot of corruption, a whole lot of poverty, and of course there is violence. And as a result, the environment of a third world country is an environment of hopelessness, if I can use that word, hopelessness. And I remember when I left Kenya, I was actually looking forward to leave Kenya and come to Canada because I wanted to get away from that feeling of hopelessness, because I knew that that feeling of hopelessness actually sucks the life out of me. Sucks the life out of me. So now I'm in a situation in my life whereby, for me personally, I can go on a vacation to Kenya, but I wouldn't live there because, it sucks the life out of me. Now, that is an extreme example if you do not live in a third world nation. Maybe you live in a first world nation. Maybe you live in Canada, maybe you live in the US. So that doesn't apply to you. So let me use an example that may be closer to home for you. So myself, I'm living in Canada. I've been living in Canada for the past 20 years. Now, the way my spirit is I like action. You know what I'm saying? I like to be in a place that is not conservative at all. I want to be in a place that's got a huge amount of opportunity. I want to be in a place that has got an extreme amount of freedom, right? As a result, now I am beginning to feel that Canada is not the best environment for me. I feel it's actually draining me more because to me, I view Canada as a very, very conservative country. So my plan for the future is to begin to travel the world, go to different places, go to South America, go to Europe, like maybe Spain, and eventually settle down in California, because I feel that that is where I'm going to be able to thrive the best, just based on my unique personality and my energy, right? So I'm conscious that Canada is good if I want to settle, but I'm not in that stage in my life whereby I want to settle. I'm still in the adventurous spirit. I want to go conquer the world. So I feel that this place may be draining the energy out of me. So the reason I'm sharing with you this example is I want you to look at what country you're living in. Now, if the country you're living in is, if you're like, this is it, this is the bomb, it's not draining your energy, then you're lucky. You're in the right place. But if you feel that, you know what, this is not it for me, then you're free to travel. You're free to go and see the world, right? You're free to go and see the world. Your environment plays a significant impact on the amount of energy that you have in your body. And as a result, your environment actually directly impacts the level of happiness, health, and success that you can manifest in your life. And this specific environment that we're talking about right now is the environment called the country. The next environment that I want to talk to you about is the environment called the city. The city that you live in, the city that you live in. Now, when I moved to Canada, I moved to a city called Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I was there for definitely over a decade, so about 10 to 12 years I was there. And it's a really, really cold place. I mean, not the whole year, but 4 months out of the year, it's really cold. 4 months out of the year, it's really cold, minus 20, a lot of winter. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan is very, very conservative. A small population, probably around 200,000. So for me, within a short period of time, I began feeling like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here, right? I was feeling like I gotta get out of there because I was feeling like the life is being drained out of me. The place is slow, the people are conservative. My spirit is feeling confined. So that led to me moving to Vancouver about 10 years ago. And Vancouver is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. Where I live right now, there's a forest right next to me. When I'm done doing this, I'm probably gonna head off to the beach. It's a nice city. It's a nice city. Vancouver is a beautiful city. But like I mentioned earlier on, I feel like now I need more action. I need something bigger. So now I'm beginning to feel that even Vancouver, my energy is being drained here because I feel like my life is comfortable. It's comfortable. So I'm sharing with you these examples because I want you to begin to think about your own life. I want you to think about the city that you're living in, right? The city that you're living in, do you feel like, the people, the vibe, the energy, just the way the city is set up, do you feel like it is draining energy out of you? Because this is possible. It could drain energy out of you if the city is not in alignment with your energetic vibration. So people are different. It literally depends on your personality, right? There's some people that will just super thrive in a place like New York, right? A place like New York, some people will thrive there because the energy of the city is in alignment with their energy. Myself, I would feel like New York is draining me, right? I haven't even been to New York, so I shouldn't even say that. But just from what I know about New York, I feel like it would be draining. On the flip side, what I know about California, I feel like California will be the spot, right? The jet skis, the paddle boarding, the beach life, I feel like that is a perfect fit for me. So I want you to think about your city, right? Where you live. Is it a city that is really inspiring you energetically, or is the city sucking the life out of you? The next aspect of environment is the business environment, right? So I'm not talking about the people in the business, I'm talking about the environment of the business itself. Now, let me give you a very, very simple example. It's a little bit extreme, but it will serve its purpose just well. Let's say you work in a slaughterhouse, right, where cows and chickens are slaughtered, right? If you work in a slaughterhouse, I am sure that the energy of the place is going to be very, very, very dark. It's going to be filled with a lot of fear because of the animals that are being killed, right? The air is going to be overflowing with the emotion of fear. Now, that will actually drain the energy out of you, right? These emotions of fear, being scared, they drain the energy out of you. So if you're in a slaughterhouse, I'm very, very sure that your energy is not going to be uplifted unless you're a Superman or something like a Superwoman, right? So that's an extreme example. Myself, I wouldn't work in a morgue, right? For me, it's a very dark, morbid place, and it would suck the life out of me. So these are extreme examples. But what I'm trying to do here is I just want you to begin to think about the business setting where you actually go to work. It could be in an office, right? Whatever it is you work, just think about it and begin to ask yourself, is the environment, not the people, just the environment itself, is it sucking the energy out of me, or is it enhancing my energy? There's one time I had a job doing construction after I finished my first degree, right? I finished my first degree in electrical engineering, and I wanted to get a job real quick, so I got a construction job while I was going through the interview process, and within 2 weeks I quit, right? Within 2 weeks I quit because like just that environment of, climbing buildings and hammering nails and doing all of this stuff, it just was completely against my personality, against my fabric. So it was draining the energy out of me, and within 2 weeks I actually quit. And I said, hey, you guys can keep the check, I'm not coming back, right? So that is the environment of the workplace. So I want you to begin to think about your workplace and begin to ask yourself very, 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 very important questions. Very important questions, because right now we are actually dealing with your happiness, your health, and your success. Next is the social environment, right? The social environment. So we already had a conversation about the people that you hang out with. Now I'm going to take it further and talk about where you hang out, right? Where you hang out. So if you met me 12, 14 years ago, there was a certain group of friends that I used to have, and I used to hang out with them in certain places such as bars, nightclubs, strip clubs. This is where I was hanging out with them. Now, today, if you tell me, hey, let's go to the bar, or let's go to the strip club, or let's go to a nightclub, I'm most likely going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you no, because when I go to those places today, I feel like they drain the energy out of me, right? They drain the energy out of me. Why? Because I have grown. Like through personal growth and development, I've become a completely different person, and I'm a person now who is aspiring for success at a higher level in my life. Therefore, when I go to certain places like bars and nightclubs, the energy in those places is very, very negative. People are there to drown their sorrows. People are there to forget about their miserable lives, and as a result, there's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of cigarette smoking, there's a lot of marijuana, there's a lot of drugs, and the whole energy is just super negative. As a result, I feel drained, right? Today, with my friends, where do you find me? You find me on the field doing sprints. You may find me in the yoga studio. You may find me on a jet ski, right? So the environment has changed. The environment is one that actually nurtures me. So I want you to just go back and think about the time that you're spending with your friends. Where are you actually spending? Like, where do you guys actually hang out? The place that you guys actually hang out could be house parties, whatever it is, where you hang out. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to the energy dynamics. Like, how do you feel energetically after you hang out with your friends in those specific locations? Okay. We're going micro. We're going micro. Like, we started macro. We started from the country, right? And we went down to the city. We went on to the business. We went to the social. Now we're going to talk about the neighborhood. The neighborhood. Do you know that some neighborhoods can suck the life out of you? Did you know that? Yes, indeed. Some neighborhoods can definitely suck the life out of you. So, myself, when I moved to Vancouver, I was living in a neighborhood called Yaletown, right? A neighborhood called Yaletown, and that was, I moved there 10 years ago. Now, Yaletown is, they call it Yuppieville, right? I don't know who came up with that word. They call it Yuppieville. Yaletown is a neighborhood that is, it's trendy, right? It's a trendy neighborhood. It's a trendy neighborhood, and a lot of people want to live in that neighborhood. It is in downtown Vancouver, and I'm not going to say a lot of people. I'm going to say a lot of middle-aged people, right, between 25 and 35. They want to live in that neighborhood because it's trendy. It's a spot to be. You know, beautiful people hang out over there, and in Yaletown, a small space is what some people would consider expensive. So when people move into Yaletown, they move into these small apartments which are expensive, and that's not the end of the story. When you're in Yaletown, you have to keep, I mean, not you have to, but in general, people try to keep up certain appearances, right? You know, everyone's got a dog, everyone's got the yoga pants, everyone is well dressed, everybody's well kept. So the pressure is high to conform. The pressure is high to conform. And what happens is that people begin to spend a lot of money just to keep up appearances, right? And a lot of this money that is being spent is credit card debt, right? Credit card debt. So what people on the outside do not know is that the people that are living in Yaletown, yes, it looks trendy, but if you get into the fabric of the society, you'll discover that a lot of people are actually struggling. They're struggling financially to actually pay their bills, right? Because they are extending themselves and they haven't yet achieved wealth. So the energy in Yaletown, believe it or not, is one of financial desperation. Not poverty, right? Not poverty, right? Because it's not poor by any means. It's, you know, it's on the up and up. But there's financial desperation in the air. So after having lived there for a long time, I noticed that when I used to live there, nearly every day in the summertime, I would always go to North Vancouver or West Vancouver, which are very, very prosperous neighborhoods. And I began to feel that, you know what? I want to live in a prosperous neighborhood. Because I realized that when I was in Yaletown, right, it's a neighborhood whereby the air is permeated by financial desperation. I would feel that sucking the life out of me instead of inspiring me energetically. But when I came to North Vancouver, there's a lot of people that are prosperous, and it did not suck the energy out of me, but it rather inspired me to want to achieve more success, and therefore my energy was increased. So now I live in North Vancouver, and you know, there's forests all over the place. There's an ocean close by, and literally everyone that lives in this area is financially well off, and therefore the energy in the atmosphere is one of peace and calm, and you know, prosperity and enhancement. And as a result of that, I am not leaking energy. I'm not draining. Energy is not being drained from me. So I want you to think about the neighborhood that you actually live in. How does it feel? How do you feel living in that neighborhood, right? Last week I was talking to a young man that I was looking at mentoring, and he told me, Pedro, you know what? I just want to get out of this neighborhood. You know, and he showed me, because we were talking on video, he showed me his neighborhood. He was like, I want to get out of this neighborhood. And when he said that, I could feel that the neighborhood was depressing to him. And I could just feel that the energy was being drained out of him because of the neighborhood that he was living in, right? Which really, really drives home the importance of being very, very conscious of the environment in which you are actually living in, aka your neighborhood. And if your neighborhood does not serve your purpose, does not serve your goals, then begin to make plans to leave that neighborhood. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the last aspect of the environment, which I believe is the most important aspect of the environment. We're talking about the home, your home, their home, your home. If I was to walk into your home right now, will you tell me, hey Pedro, can you just hang out at the door for a second while I just tidy up, just clean up? If you would do that, it means that your home is not conducive to enhancing your energy. Rather, your home is draining the energy out of you because it's not neat, it's not relaxing. A lot of times I'm about to jump into somebody's car and they say, hey, hold on, I'm ashamed about my car. Let me do some, let me clean it up a little bit, right? That environment is draining the energy out of you. So I discovered this about 10 years ago. There's a lady friend of mine that came over to my place 10 years ago. And those were the days I was like very, very rigid in terms of my pursuit of my goals. And I was like a fanatic for personal growth and development. And I had books like by the millions everywhere. My timetable on my computer was just filled up with meetings. And she looked at it. She looked at my laptop and she looked at my place and she looked at me and she said, you're very busy inside of your mind. You're very busy inside of your mind. And I'm like, yeah, I'm very busy inside of my mind. But what she was trying to tell me was not a compliment. She was telling me that my place is not conducive to relaxing, to harmony, to peace. And she actually told me at that time that I'm actually leaking a lot of energy because my place is not tidy. Things are just everywhere. Ever since then, I have become very, very conscious of my home, right? How it looks, you know what I'm saying? The design of my home, the amount of light that's coming into my home, right? I'm very, very conscious about the space in which I spend the most amount of time. Because I realize that if I'm not happy with that space, if I'm angry at that space, there's times I've been angry at a space that I'm living in. If I'm angry at that space, I'm going to be leaking a lot of energy because I just don't want to be there, right? The home is one of the most important places in your life. So if the home that you're living in is not, first of all, on the inside, if it's not neat, if it's not clean, then it's not going to conserve your energy. You're going to drain a lot of energy. And the second thing is, if your home is not your ideal home, it's not the style of home that you want to live in, then make more money and move to a new home. Make more money and move to a new home. Make more money and what? Move to a new home. So I want you to understand that the conversation that we're having right now is one whereby we're beginning to explore the energy vampires, the things that suck the energy out of you. Suck the energy out of you. However, there are things that you personally do consciously and sometimes unconsciously that lead to a high leakage of energy from you. So in the next video, we're actually going to explore that, right? And I intend to introduce some ways you can actually enhance your energy, right? We cannot explore all of the energy leakers on video because I actually discovered 62 ways in which we leak energy from our system. So if you want to learn about all of this, just stay tuned. Within the next few days, the audio program called Energy, How to Stop Leaking It and How to Get More of It will be out. It will be available in my website, thealphasuccessnetwork.com. You can buy that audio, listen to it, and literally transform your life. If your energy is a 5 out of 5, the information that you're going to get in that audio is going to take your energy to a 10 out of 10. Okay? So it's Friday. I'm wishing you an amazing weekend. Be conscious about the things that I've shared here with you as it pertains to your environment and your relationships. and begin to observe them and see if they're actually serving you in terms of the amount of energy that you have in your system. And if not, begin to make the necessary changes. Stay tuned to the next video coming through. I'm going to release it in the next couple of days, and we're going to continue this conversation that we are having together. So with that, I'm wishing you an amazing weekend, and stay tuned to the Velvet Mastermind Club. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, and we are also on LinkedIn. And I'm going to be consistently creating these videos that run about 40 minutes long, in which I actually introduce all the information that you actually need to literally transform your life. Ilya, welcome to the call. The call is just wrapping up right now, but I definitely want to encourage you to just put it on repeat and just have a look at the information I'm sharing here. Perhaps an idea or two may make a difference in your life. Take care, my friends. I'm wishing you nothing but mad success.